Hey, it's a goddamn boy, coming I don't know words. Freaking Island Boy takeoff. What up, everyone? It's your boy Floz MG, back with another episode of Tier Up, and this time I am ranking the roster of Mortal Kombat 11. And this is just going to be the base roster. I'm not going to be including any of the added combatants, any of the DLC characters. That I'm thinking about making its own separate video. Let me know if you want me to do that. Mortal Kombat was by far one of my most favorite gaming franchises ever. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. Let's get into it. Before this video starts, I just want to say that only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you like this video and want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and you can always change your mind in the future. Now back to the video. The ranks for this video are as follows: God Tier, Fatality, Worthy Combatant, Black Dragon Scum, and Cancel. And first up we got Baraka. Baraka is a Tarkatan who's able to extend blades out of his, I want to say forearm, his wrist, one of those two things. And let's just say those blades cause a hefty bit of damage. But I am basing this off of the character stats themselves, their abilities, and also just how much I like playing them, you know? So Baraka, he was never really one of my favorites because they didn't even have him in Mortal Kombat X. They didn't have him playable in Mortal Kombat X. You only ever got to fight him in the freaking, what was it called? Story mode. So, I know this may be annoying, but I'm going to put him in Black Dragon Scum. Oh well. Next up we have Cassie Cage, daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade. Let's just say she is one badass. She's the first character you play as in the story mode. And what am I forgetting? Oh yeah, she fucking obliterated Shinnok. Cassie Cage being she was the only human, I think, who's ever been able to defeat Shinnok. Well, other than Johnny Cage, actually, the beginning of story mode Mortal Kombat X. Cassie, I am going to put her up in Fatality. Not exactly God Tier, and I'll get to why I believe so. Next up we have the Elder God Cetrion, the Goddess of Virtue, I believe. Is that what she was called? Goddess of Virtue? I believe so. Daughter of Kronika, sister to Shinnok. Basically, a lot of her powers kind of tie into, nature shit. Elementalist type of shit. I don't really know. I don't really know much about Cetrion either way. Plus, she was never really one of my favorites. But I played as her as the game, and she was a bit more fun to play as than Baraka to me. Again, these are just my own personal opinions. Next up, we got the Hive Queen, Devorah. She is scary. One of the very few combatants I would be scared of meeting in real life. One, because of freaking pointer things that come out of her goddamn back. I forgot what they're called. Those I feel like would hurt like a bitch. Plus, if she kisses you, you'll kind of be filled up with bugs. If you ever saw that scene with her and Melina in Mortal Kombat X. Ugh. Wait, was Devorah introduced in Mortal Kombat X? I forget. I don't remember if she was or not. Either way, Devorah, despite being insanely creepy, you are decent to play as. But I wouldn't be caught dead in a room with her. Next up, we got the great marksman, Aaron Black. Aaron Black bringing back the cowboy vibe. Aaron Black, I believe, originally started out as a member of the Black Dragon? I believe. But then eventually as he grew older, he started to work under Kotal Khan's rule in Outworld. Basically, he just took work wherever the price was good. As for playing as Aaron Black, he was never one of my favorites. Kind of on the same level as Baraka to me. Next up, we have Frost. I don't think you could have played as her in Mortal Kombat 9. I don't think you could have played as her in Mortal Kombat X. This is the first one where you get to actually play as Frost. In the newer games, I believe. Either way, Frost is a member of the Lin Kuei. She is very Cryomancer-like. And she went through with the Cyber Initiative to robotize her. Basically, turn herself into a machine. A literal fighting machine. And she can detach her own fucking head, and that in itself is creepy enough. But as someone to play as, I haven't played as Frost that much. So I can't give a real fair opinion, so I gotta put her like maybe midway. Because I can't put her as the worst, I can't put her as best. It has to be like directly midway, because I can't say she's way good or real bad. But next up we have another one of Kronika's goons called Gyrus, who I believe, if I'm right, is like a fixed moment in time. And whenever he dies, he comes back stronger. So if he wants to get stronger, he can just die, and gain ultimate power. Call that a workout shortcut. Still, Gyrus' powers they're interesting to say the least. I've played as Gyrus, he's definitely like a sort of brutalist. And I think I'm going to put him up in Fatality. Yeah, in Fatality, that's where I'm going to put him. Next up, we have Jackie Briggs, daughter of Jax Briggs. In a way, with her abilities, she kinda takes after her dad with sort of robotic gauntlets that provide a lot of the same sort of deadly power as Jax's arms. Her power definitely lies more in like blasting and shooting as much as it is hand-to-hand combat, which she's still pretty decent with. For someone to play as, she's pretty good. I can't put her as God tier yet. And that's a little bit of a yet. Next up, we have Jade, a certain lover of Shao Khan, friend of Katana or advisor of Katana, I forgot which one it is. Her specialty weapon is, you guessed it, a Jade staff. I will say she knows how to work that staff, but maybe she could work in other ways if you know what I mean. Okay. But as playing as Jade, I never really liked playing as characters with staves. They never really appealed to me. Just for me, playing as Jade, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun for me. In other aspects, were pretty good. If she were just a little bit better for me to play as, she could have gone a little bit higher. Maybe at least, at most, worthy combatant, but nah. Next up, we have Jax Briggs, a fighter whose arms had been ripped off by, well, in the game, it was Ermac. And that may have been a good thing, because his arms now, definitely an upgrade. Jax, definitely a brutalist. And like, I had a lot of fun playing as Jax throughout all of the games. And you know what? He's a goddamn boy. Alright, next up we got the man, the myth, the legend, star of that, whatever that fucking mime movie he was in, Ninja Mime or something like that, Johnny Cage! Johnny Cage kind of started out in the game like a really, like, airheaded, full of himself actor, but as the games progressed, he definitely became sort of... The best way that I can phrase it is that he just grew up. Simple as that, he grew up, he had his daughter Cassie, and the rest is history. Johnny, one of his abilities, like, he sort of like glowed with a green aura that somehow made himself invisible. Not invisible, invincible. There we go. And Johnny, being one of the original 7 characters of the game, yeah, you know where he has to go. Gotcha, no motherfucking doubt. Alright, next up we have Cabal. Once a member of the Black Dragon, I believe. He has those 2 weird curved sword things that I completely forget the name of. He is, well, faster than the speed of fucking light. He's essentially the Flash of this game, just far more murderous and with cool weapons. With games, I always loved playing as speedsters, and Cabal, he was no exception. Loved playing as him. Fatality worthy. Alright, next up we have Kano. Kano, also one of the original 7 characters of the game. A Black Dragon assassin with a bit of robotics into him. Is he like a cyborg? Is he a cyborg? I'm not too sure. Point is, he's a dangerous one. And he comes from the land down under, mate. I used to be able to do like a really good Kano impression, but since it's lost its touch. But still, Kano being one of the original 7. God tier motherfucker. Alright, next up we have Katana, the current ruler of Outworld. Or, correction, ruler of the universe next to Liu Kang's side. Katana's abilities deal heavily with her freaking fan blades. And I would love to know where to get those in real life, because they look awesome. And in the game, Katana was definitely the sex appeal. But hey, she can look good and kick butt. She's good to play as. Fatality, motherfucker. Alright, next up we have, I don't really know what species he is, but we have Collector. I don't even know what Collector is. I don't understand why he's even in the game. Point being, I don't even want to talk about him because I am not a fan of Collector at all. Not in the slightest. But here, next up, we have Kotal Khan. Kotal Khan was the ruler of Outworld in Mortal Kombat X and a bit in Mortal Kombat 11. I forgot exactly like what sort of species, race thing, whatever he is. But either way, he has a few interesting abilities. He can like turn himself into this sort of wolf creature, I believe. I could very well be wrong. Also, definitely a brutalist. He was really fun to play as, but for me, not as fun as the others in Fatality. He's kind of like right on the cusp of worthy combatant. Next up, we have the Shaolin Kung Lao. Kung Lao, his most prominent feature, definitely the circular blade hat that he holds. I don't know what it's called, but still awesome. Like, if I could just have that, I would. Kung Lao, definitely a strong competitor. One of my favorites to play as in the games. I don't know if I want to put him as God tier, though. Hey, you know what? Screw it. He's a God tier boy. Next up, we have another one of the original 7 of the series, Liu Kang. Liu Kang, if you don't know him, you don't deserve to be alive. Liu Kang, much like Scorpion, is able to summon the power of fire from his fists. Sort of. I don't exactly know how to word it. But one of Liu Kang's most prominent moves is definitely the bicycle kick that he can do in the air. In Mortal Kombat 11, the story mode, he fuses together with Raiden to become Fire God Liu Kang. And for becoming a god, there's kind of one place where he needs to go. God tier. Alright, next up we have Noob Cybot. The name alone should make me put it in cancelled. But Noob Cybot was Sub-Zero's brother, Bihan, who kind of got by Scorpion and then became an undead servant of Quan Chi. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his powers, but I would have put him in Worthy Combatant if only his name wasn't Noob. I mean, come on. I'll at least give him Black Dragon Scum. Alright, next up we have another one of the original 7, Raiden, God of Thunder. Like, seriously, you should know Raiden. And if you don't know Raiden, I refuse to believe that you have ever even heard of this game. He's the Thunder God. There's only one place he should be going. Into God tier at the head of the thing. Alright, next up we have Scorpion. Real name, Hanzo Hasashi. Leader of the Shirai Ryu, his clan, who he thought to be killed by Sub-Zero, but really, it was killed by Quan Chi, especially his wife and child. I don't know why I'm doing this voice anymore. Scorpion definitely has one of the most iconic fatalities in the game called Toasty. That's I think it's had remasters in every single version of the game, I believe. Also, Scorpion being one of the original 7. Hey, it's a goddamn boy, coming I don't know words. Freaking Island Boy takeoff. Next up, we have Shao Khan. Shao Khan has been the ruler of Outworld in a good number of the games. Most definitely a brutalist. His favorite weapon is his giant goddamn hammer. that can crush a skull with one fucking sling. Still, the amount of fun I had playing as Shao Khan was kind of on par with Kotal Khan. And I'll put it in Worthy Combatant. I don't want to dig too much into these. Next up we have Scarlett, who I hadn't even heard of until this game. She's apparently been here in a lot of Mortal Kombat games, but this is the first one I've actually played in as Scarlett. Scarlett sort of deals with like blood magic. Vampire, suck your blood. She can like take the blood out of you and like turn it into like a solid weapon. That's some freaky power. Some seriously freaky power. But the fact that I haven't heard of her until this game shows how much of an impact she left on me. Sorry. Ayo, next up we got Sonya motherfucking Blade, the general of the Special Forces. Special Forces, they're pretty much like a military operation or organization. I don't really know exactly what to call it. Sonya Blade also being one of the original 7. You know where she gotta go. Up in God tier. I'm not sure how many more spots are going to be available in God tier before it's going to be off the screen. Hopefully there's enough space for this last one. And this last one is Sub-Zero, Grandmaster of the Lin Kuei. He is a cryomancer able to shoot ice from his fists. And definitely like one of the poster boys for the game. You know where he's gotta go. Up in God tier, because he's also one of the original 7. I did make a little bit of an adjustment at the end. I moved Jax and Kung Lao down to the very beginning of Fatality, because with the top 7 being the original 7 of the franchise, they need those spots to themselves. And I think this is where I'm going to end it. I've been Floz MG. This has been Tier Up, ranking the Mortal Kombat 11 roster, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Bye!
Bitch, I ain't your hero. Don't call me a savior. Think I'm out of control. That's just my behavior. I'm breaking the house down. Major devastation. You don't gotta worry, cause it don't matter. I'm antisocial.